You know, at the end of your service, I know that you continue to serve and will serve in many other capacities. We present you the American flag. And this flag embodies your service. It embodies the service that all that has served before you, and the service of those that will follow your footsteps. I present you this flag, and I pray that when you see this flag, as you fly it honorably up to home, that you will look at it, and you will remember your service. You will remember the men and women that you led, you mentored, and you served.
Now it's the roll of retired officer personnel. To all who shall see these presents, greetings, Lieutenant Colonel Todd Harris, in recognition of your distinguished military service in the Iowa National Guard and in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. You are, by order of the Commander-in-Chief, placed on the retired roll of the Iowa National Guard effective 31 July 2017. The best wishes of the Iowa National Guard and the state of Iowa follow you in your future undertakings, and may you find in your retirement all the happiness and good fortune that you richly deserve. Timothy E. Gore, the Adjutant General of Iowa. Tim Reynolds, the Governor of Iowa. Roll of retired enlisted personnel. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. Staff Sergeant, First Sergeant Brian Harris, in appreciation of honorable and faithful service in the Iowa National Guard and the Armed Forces of the United States of America, is placed on the roll of retired Iowa National Guard enlisted personnel. Dated August 7th, 2017, Timothy E. Gore, Major General, Iowa National Guard, the Adjutant General. Now we have a letter from General Cadave. Dear citizen soldiers, it is my pleasure and privilege to express my appreciation to you for your contribution to a grateful nation upon your retirement. The National Guard thanks you for your patriotism, selflessness, and quiet courage in support of our communities and contingencies at home and abroad. You carried out the many missions our country called upon you to perform with honor and duty. Your service is a testament to what makes the Army National Guard a valued operational force. As you transition from military service to civilian life, I know that you remain on call to serve and protect your country and community. The American people salute you for your service, love of country, and sacrifices to protect our liberties and freedoms. Once a soldier, always a soldier, a citizen soldier for life. Your service is sincerely appreciated. Congratulations on a job well done. Timothy J. Cademy, Lieutenant General, U.S. Army, Director, Army National Guard. Now a letter from General Orr. Dear Lieutenant Colonel Todd Harris and First Sergeant Ryan Harris, congratulations on your retirement from the Iowa National Guard. I extend to you my personal thanks and a sincere appreciation of a grateful state and nation for your contribution of honorable service in our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice, in keeping with the proud tradition of the Iowa National Guard's motto of mission-focused, warrior-ready. Your membership in this organization serves as a testament to your character and willingness to serve others. You have made a difference for the future of our children and grandchildren's lives. Your devotion to duty, service, and the nation is both represented by your many personal achievements and reflected in the men and women who have served with you throughout your career. Remember that no matter how well the Iowa National Guard performs hereafter, it will be because of the solid foundation from your personal contributions made to the Iowa National Guard. As you join the ranks of our alumni, please take advantage of our retiree programs and stay connected to the organization. We plan on reaching out to you through our alumni messages and programs to help you stay informed. On behalf of the Iowa National Guard leadership team, thank you for your service and for your dedication to our state and nation. Your distinguished career reflects great credit upon you, the Iowa National Guard, and the Iowa National Guard. Suzanne and I wish you and your family best wishes in retirement and in this new chapter of your life. Sincerely, Timothy Igor, Major General, Iowa National Guard, the Adjutant General. Okay, at this time, if Gwen and Harriet would join us up here, please. The Military Parent Medal is presented to Gwen and Harriet Harris. The sacrifice the parent of a military member renders is beyond compare. As a parent, they willingly offer their blessing when the child is compelled to serve their country. If it were not for the military parent, through their child's service, America would not enjoy all of the freedoms that exist today. The Military Parent Medal is cast in gold and silver colors, which symbolizes how meaningful you are to me. Within the gold center is a compass directing the guidance and direction that you have instilled with me. The two-piece laurel wreath shows a constant offering of love and support for the decisions I have made throughout my life. The raised ripple is indicative of the many opportunities you offered to me. There are 4 stars around the lower half of the silver ring, symbolic of your teachings of duty, honor, integrity, and devotion. In the lower center of the outer ring is a shield for your teaching of tradition and respect for our country. The Military Parent Medal is my way of saying you were then and as now, one of the most important parts of my life. It is your understanding, love, and assurance that enable me to know that I know what I accomplished was important. Thank you for being there for me. Duty, honor, integrity, and devotion. Okay, at this time, the goodie bags.
All right. You know it's not official until you put it on. The requisite retired National Guard cap. Also, I just want you to know Todd sized it for you. You also have the refrigerator to-do list and the Iowa National Coffee Cup, suitable for any beverage of your choice. and the Iowa National Guard flash. And finally, as General Orr pointed out yesterday, the pink Iowa National Guard bag you take to the farmer's market. You know, my last item of business today is to present some coins. And the Adjutant General was unable to attend today, but he was adamant as he came into my office and then wanted to ensure that I would present his thanks, his eternal gratitude for your service, and present one of his coins, which is for excellence. And he's had the opportunity to serve with both of you. And he knows the impact you have. And he simply says, thanks for a job well done. Now, it's always awkward for me because my coins don't have nearly the luster of the boss's. But what they are is they're a token of my esteem for your service to your nation, to your fellow Iowans. How grateful I am for the leadership, for the mentorship, for the friendship, all that you've accomplished for the Iowa National Guard. And he will buy you a cup of coffee, but only up in my office. And I hope you see it open. But they're a token of my esteem for all that you've sacrificed. And I'd be honored if you'd accept one of my coins.
This time I invite Brigadier General Steve Warnstadt, Director of the Joint Staff, to come forward for his presentation of the Camp Todd Walnut Plaque.
So, this one is, I'm sorry for starting, but this one's solely for your brother here. In our present contemporary environment, the role of the anti-terrorism first protection officer and the provost marshal is a very significant one. And Colonel Ira has played a pivotal role in getting our structure right, and getting policies and processes in place. And quite honestly, without his effort with the National Guard Reaction Force, we would not have the capabilities that we have in the state of Iowa. So he's played an instrumental role for the state, protecting all service members. And so on behalf of the warriors at the Joint Force Headquarters, I want to present you with this plaque in appreciation of your service.
And at this time, I'd open it up to the floor if we have any presentations, unit or organizational presentations to provide.
Major Langford wasn't able to make it because he's at AT with the 10th Brigade. But sir, we just want to award you with our wonderful service. Thank you very, very much.
Are there any other presentations? Okay, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Major General Retired Greg Schwab from the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve to come forward, along with Commissioner Roxanne Ryan and Colonel Jeff Ritzman from the Iowa State Patrol.
The service of a guardsman has often been described as a three-legged stool, and the seat of that stool represents the service that the individual, the service to the state and nation. But the three legs to that stool are essential to support the service. Now, the three legs of that stool are the individual and the member, the service they provide, the parents and the family and friends that support that, and then the employer. Now, the focus and the spotlight for most of the ceremony has been on both Todd and Ryan as the member. That's one leg of the stool. Just a moment ago, we turned the spotlight to the parents, and I would suggest all of the other supporting family members for their support. At this time, we're going to turn the spotlight a little bit to the employer. I represent the employer support of the Guard Reserve, and quite frankly, the most enjoyable role that we have is recognizing exceptional employers for the support that they provide their members to provide the service. And that's what we intend to do today. And rather than me describe all the wonderful things that both the Department of Public Safety as well as the Iowa State Patrol have provided to both Todd and Ryan, I'm going to let them describe it.
You want to start, right?
I'll end.
This was one of the first things I'm not going to stand in front of you. This is extremely important to Ryan and I, and I say that because we started in 1986. We started with the Department of Public Safety and the State Patrol in '94 and '95, and it just seems so natural in a lot of ways. And we started as reserve deputy sheriffs over in Lynn County, and decided that the law enforcement was just a career that just seemed so natural for us to go into. And we had automatic great admiration for the troopers of the Iowa State Patrol, and thought that that was just a career that we wanted to pursue. And we broke it down like a military mission. I mean, when we figured out what it took to try to possibly get into the department, we broke it down into tiny little pieces and tried to attack every single little piece, like you eat an elephant one piece at a time. And it just kind of fell into place so well. We couldn't be prouder to be part of the Iowa Department of Public Safety and with the Iowa State Patrol now for 22, 23 years. And throughout that time, there's obviously you have to kind of work closely with your supervisors and keep them informed that when your drill weekends are and when your annual training of 2 weeks when that occurs, and with special events that come up with the Guard. And when the Guard had asked, hey, can he go over and do 2 days or 3 days of duty at a certain time? And I'll tell you what, it's because of the support of the department, recognizing the importance of the Iowa National Guard also, and recognizing support to the military, that we're able to, I can't remember a single incident, Ryan or you, where we had any issues with a sergeant doing whatever he could, or a lieutenant, to make adjustments in the schedule. And that meant sacrifices from even the troopers at times, because Ryan and I were on military duty for a weekend or 2 weeks or a 1 year, 2 year deployment, that meant sacrifices for the troopers that are out there that are not in the military, because they might get turned down for vacation, or they might get turned down for something, because we have a duty to the public and out there to the safety on the highways of maintaining a minimum staff level to be able to react to emergencies. So there was times where those I knew when we recognized it, we wanted to recognize the Department of Public Safety and to the Commissioner and to the Colonel of the Iowa State Patrol for that support of us over our military career. And also, we've got some outstanding 5 troopers that I've worked with and have worked for years. Lieutenant Stein here with Post 1, and Trooper Stein, Trooper Deb Stein, also Major Randy Kunert, and Greg Obing from the Lieutenant in Post 11 in Cedar Rapids, and with Rob Battles here in Post 1 that works with me on my schedule. And so there's sacrifices need to be made. We want to recognize the department. We want to recognize the State Patrol with the ESGR, with the Patriot Awards. And that thank you for our support. And it comes from all the colonels from behind you, as well as up to the colonel, and of course the other commissioners who have supported us in the last 23 years also now. That we hope that support to the military will continue. I know it will, because of all the things that we've done together, the National Guard Reaction Force and the Iowa State Patrol tactical teams now work together and do things together and enhance the support and the safety of the state of Iowa, because we have a quick reaction force that can respond to emergencies for the public, and also supporting me on the Kosovo mission. And now we have Chief Hoy, who's going over, and Major Randy Cooner, who went over to Kosovo, and I made a request. I said, hey, I think this would be great if we had a connection between the Kosovo police, and actually the Kosovo police director, who I know personally, he was over here. He said, hey, can we build a relationship like the National Guard does with the Kosovo security force? Can we do a military-civilian relationship? And I said, well, maybe we can. We ran it up through the flagpole without hesitation, jumped on the whole idea. Now we're building a relationship between the Iowa State Patrol and the Kosovo police. Never been done before, and it shows great promise, and the Kosovo police just love it. So obviously, it can't be easy. Was I short enough for that? Ditto. I took a little bit of your fire.
No, I think the same thing. Very supportive when we had to put in vacation, even short time. Something comes up in the military, I have to go to a sergeant lieutenant and say, hey, I need to be at this event or do this duty, and they came through with what they needed to do to help support me on the military side. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
So Todd and Ryan submitted these awards, requested these awards through ESGR, and ESGR gladly would like to help them facilitate and acknowledge the service provided. There's actually 4 awards. The first 2 are individual awards, both Commissioner Ryan and Colonel Ritzman. So we're going to present the individual awards initially, if we may, please.
Office of the Secretary of Defense, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve recognizes Commissioner Roxanne Ryan, Iowa Department of Public Safety, and Colonel Jeff Ritzman, Iowa State Patrol, as patriotic employers for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force.
And then in recognition of the fact that, as they already pointed out, it's actually the whole department or division, the State Patrol, that has supported them, we've also got awards, they're called the 7 Seals Award, that recognizes the entire organization. And for this picture and presentation, as Mike reads it, I would like the other troopers please to come forward for the picture. Yes? Yeah? No? You're going to pass? Okay. You good?
The 7 Seals Award is presented to the Iowa State Patrol and the Iowa Department of Public Safety for meritorious leadership and initiative in support of the men and women who serve America in the National Guard and Reserve. Presentation before we turn the floor over. And would First Sergeant Wagner please?
Who would ever thought a recruiter would be up here for something like this? 1986. The story goes, though, it wasn't really me that got him. Jeff Ember, his close friend, was the one who wanted to recruit him. I just went to talk to Ryan, and next thing you know, Todd, being like he is. The other sad thing about all of this, when I recruited him, we only had a short time together. About a year later, we went to OCS, became an officer. Ryan, for some unknown reason, wanted to be a rigger and jump out of airplanes.